We are good to go here.
Yes, we are.
All right, thank you very much. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our front end performance optimization event. My name is Ayambadi Michael Olomaiwa. I'm a front end and mobile app developer at Bincom. I'm thrilled to be your facilitator for this exciting and informative section. So, I'm just going to be giving like a brief introduction of the topic and things we need to expect in this meetup before I introduce us to our speakers. So in today's world, websites and applications are often the first point of contact between businesses and their customer. It is no secret that a slow loading or poorly performing website can quickly turn away potential customers, just like we know, and also costing lots of revenue and also damaging the reputation of the brand. So that's why it's essential to ensure that your front end code is optimized for speed and efficiency. So in this event, we will be looking to explore various techniques and best practices for optimizing front-end performance. Our expert speakers, we have both the external speaker and the internal speakers, will share their insight and experience, providing valuable tips and tricks that can help us implement, that can help, that we can implement in our projects. Whether you're a front-end developer, a business owner, or you're just simply interested in in improving your website performance, this event is definitely for you. So just sit back, relax, and get ready to learn how to make your front end code faster, smoother, and more user friendly. Thank you guys for joining us today. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to be introducing our first speaker by the name of Mr. Isiak Abdulwasiu Dolakwa. He is a JavaScript developer and also is a freelancer. So Mr. Wasiu, thank you very much for honoring our invitation, and we look forward to learning from you. So you can have the floor, sir. You can begin your presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm unable to share my screen, and I think I need permission from the host to do that. Hello.
All right, I'm coming, sir.
Okay.
I'm able to share screen because.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Good afternoon once again. My name is Isiak Abdulwasiu Dolakwa. I'm a JavaScript developer with over 2 years experience using front-end technology. The topic for this event, as earlier stated by the facilitator, front-end performance optimization. During the course of the discussion, I'll be talking on the following points, or the following content rather. First, what is front-end optimization, and also tips that we can actually employ to improve the performance of our websites as a front-end developer. First, what is front-end optimization? According to Google, this is also known as content optimization. The process of fine-tuning your website to make it more browser-friendly and quicker to load for the end users. So the goal of the front-end performance is to give users an ability to get what they want from a website or an application at a very limited time and ensure that they have a smooth experience while interacting with it. When our users are having an interaction with the the website, the ability for them to have a smooth experience in interacting with the application or the website is the work of the optimize or the process whereby we've optimized files, the website, and what actually the users is actually requesting from the website, and they're able to get it within the limited short of time. Then the following tips, if carried out, we actually give the users a smooth experience, and they will spend limited time in interacting with our website. The first is by compressing the files, the CSS files, the HTML file, and the JavaScript file being compressed is one of the tips in which can help us achieve this optimization. Another one is the use of responsive image and a WebP, that is a web picture format. And also choosing a content delivery network is another ways in which we can use to improve our website responsiveness. And lastly, another thing, resources minification by removing unused necessary codes in our CSS, in our JavaScript, in our HTML files. And another one is caching. And lastly, that I'll be discussing is the video optimization. Firstly, you should anticipate a lighter loading time as the page becomes more intricate. These which code files should be compressed to their original size to increase the responsiveness of the website. The more complex a page is the larger the loading time you should expect. So the more complex our website is the more the time it takes for each of the the website should load. So when we have a large files in our website, we need to compress these files to their original sizes in order for us to increase the responsiveness of the website. And we can do this by using is either a Brotli or a gzip file package. Are actually what are the two files that are the two packages, that are suitable for this, that we can use to compress our files. Another tip that can be carried out to improve website responsiveness is using a responsive image and a web picture format. We can reduce the image delivery time on scaling screens and boost the performance of a website. I recommend using a responsive images, or we employ the use of a WebP package, that is by converting our JPEG pictures, our PNGs, and other file formats into a WebP format, or we use a responsive image. And we said a WebP formatted images are approximately up to 30% smaller than a JPEG image, or 25% smaller than a PNG image. That is, this has brought a significant decrease in the size of the pictures that are actually being used on our website. So we can use an online tool such as Scosh and command line tools to convert our JPEGs and PNG files into a WebP file, which is a web picture format. Network latency issues, that is delays in communication over a network, where the focus of the construction of CDNs. What we are saying here is the focus of CDNs, by choosing a CDN, we actually increasing, or let me say, we are removing the delays in the communication over a network. That is, the reduced distance between the user and the server is what these delivery networks actually does. It reduces the distance between our user and the server, and it will speed up the loading process and increasing the site and application responsiveness. A CDN like Cloudflare keeps a version of the content in various locations to decrease the distance of when the user actually requested an information from the server. So by choosing a CDN, it will actually reduce the distance of that, and makes it easier for the user to get the information needed from the server, and faster, and as well we increase the responsiveness of the website. A CDN handles the performance middle mile. That is, it's actually shortening the distance, I said earlier, bringing the user closer to the sources. The number of trees the server makes is greatly reduced, which speeds up the loading process. So by choosing a content delivery networks, we actually reduce the number of trips that the server makes, and also actually give the user what they want at as fast as it can be, and optimize the website. In addition to the tips mentioned earlier, caching can also speed up the user and the server interaction. Caching stores a copy of the assets that a user has requested and later access the cache copy instead of the original copy. The caching is like, can I say, is like a barrier, like it actually break the barrier of you going to a far distance and you are actually getting the same file, both the cached copy and the original copy. There is no actually difference, but it's shortening the distance between the user and the original file. And you store your file, you store your asset in that is expected from the user. Like the user has already, the user, you are expecting users to request some information. So this information you store them already in a cached file, and instead of the original file, then immediately the user requests the file, it will be getting it from the cached, which is making it closer to the user instead of getting it from the original file. And the types of cache we have the browser cache, we have the cache server, the memory cache, the disk cache. I hope I'm communicating. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Thank you very much. It takes a longer seconds. If you look at what I have here on my slide, it takes a larger seconds for an end user to get information requested for a content without a cache. So as I said earlier, cache actually breaks, how will I say it, store what you expect a user to request. As it has stored it, it will have shortened the distance, reduced the time that it's needed for the user to get the information from the original copy, getting it from the cache copy, make it faster. So a content without a cache, it takes longer time than a content with a cache, because you already have it saved closer to the user, and it's not going to the original server to get the information needed. So the information to the end user with a time space of 30 milliseconds through the help of the cache makes it easy when we have a content with a cache, and it also improves the responsiveness of the website. And lastly, either you option for, before we also have the place whereby we remove unused, let me say unnecessary codes from our CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. Is what we call the resource minification. And the practice of this also helps in optimizing our website. Minification decreases the amount of code that needs to be fetched from the server, which accelerates front-end loading speed. So far, we've reduced unnecessary codes, like we remove some barriers on making our server to load all those code before it actually give the users what they want. So by minification, we actually reduce the loading speed of all these files, either the CSS or the HTML or the JavaScript files. And we should practice this, or we can actually facilitate this using, in the case of JavaScript, we can use a Chrome Dev Tools, the coverage tools in Chrome Dev Tools, or we use a JSMin. Then in the case of CSS, we can use a UI compressor and other examples here, other packages here rather, sorry. Then also in the case of HTML, we can use an HTML minifier or a page speed insights. And lastly, either you option for a WebP animated or you replace them with an HTML video tag. You can what? You can preload videos. You can make it lighter and give you better control of your website video player. Although we know that videos are not preloaded on websites, like in the case of images. So when we are declaring our video tags, we can make use of HTML video tags, or we option for a WebP packaging declaring our videos, and it makes the videos more optimized. And as well, the Although not all video files formats that actually works with HTML5 video, we have the MP4 that's compatible, the OGG and the WebM, which is the web media file that are compatible with the HTML video tag. So some popular HTML online video encoders are the HTML video converter, the handbrake, the converter point, and the filmic video converter. Are what are the packages which you can use to optimize our videos from in our website and make it easy for the user to access these informations. In conclusion, sole implementation of those web performance optimization techniques guarantees your website fast loading and a great user experience. Just make sure you keep it things small, smart, and smooth. By implementing you compress the file, you remove the unnecessary codes that are not needed using the package or the tools mentioned earlier from our CSS file, our JS, and our HTML files. We can get our websites being optimized. And also we should make sure we optimize our videos, because these are these are what actually makes it difficult for the server to load on time and delay the users in getting the information needed. And we should employ the use of a cache and the content. We should choose a content delivery network whenever we are developing or we are working on an application. Thanks for listening.
All right, thank you, sir, for that wonderful presentation. And I'm sure that a lot of us have questions, and yeah, we're all preparing our questions for you. But before the question will come, we have the second speaker to speak, so that when she's done speaking, the floor will be open for everyone to ask the questions he or she wants to ask. But before that comes on, in Bincom Dev Center, we need to have a message to pass to us for just 5 minutes. So please, everyone should hold on for the Bincom Dev Center. So Joy. All right. Sorry about that. Seems the Bincom Dev Center representative are on call right now. So also we can move to the second speaker. Maybe after the second speaker has spoken.
Sorry to cut you into just a minute. Information getting to me now is that the first speaker, Mr. Dolapo, is going to be dropping off the call very soon to go and pray. So I feel maybe if there's any question for him, like we can just throw our questions to him right now before the second speaker comes in. Did you get that?
Yeah, I heard you.
All right. So I personally have a question, Mr. Dolapo, and nice presentation, by the way. I really learned one or two, even as a front-end developer, I learned some new things. So my main question now is, can you hear me, Mr. Dolapo? Please confirm if you can hear me.
I can hear you very well.
All right, thank you very much. So my main question here is now that what are some of the most common front-end performance issues that you encounter in your own work, and how do you address them? I know there are many issues, but can you just highlight like one or two main issues that you must always address as a front-end developer, and how do you address them personally?
Can you please come in? I'm not really getting your question.
All right, I said just like
sorry, can I just maybe I should rephrase it, then you tell me if that's what you asked.
All right, no problem.
You said the problem I've encountered during the course of as a front-end developer, and ways in which I've solved it. Is that what you're saying? Or related to front-end optimization? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, front-end optimization, like the issues that you faced personally and how you resolve them.
Most of the issues is that I can say for now is unnecessary codes from CSS files and HTML files, and JavaScript. There are ways in which how will I say it, especially in JavaScript, there is what we call if I'm not mistaken, sorry, this issue of writing a shorter line of codes for Java, what you can write within 3-4 lines, then you later find out for that you can write it with another method within 2 short lines and you get the same. If I believe you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
And so with that actually reduce the lines of codes from my files and make it easy for me to have a lesser file for the website. So I don't really think so far I've encountered the issue or some other issues not related to file. I would just say file, yeah, because then also compressing of file as well has been a way in which I've employed to reduce my file, large files I have, and it actually makes it easy for I personally, maybe some of my practice work, and make it easy for me to access the information needed. I think that's what I can say.
All right. Thank you very much for the answer. That answers it. Just one more question, just as you were talking about compressing. As a developer too, I feel that once, maybe, I don't know if you compress some files, maybe pictures, JPEGs or videos, will that not maybe affect like the quality of the work you are delivering? Like, when you compress a file, it definitely reduces the quality in a way. So I don't know if there are apps that maybe they don't reduce the quality in like a major way. I don't know if you can shed more light on that, sir.
Sorry, I did not unmute myself. I said in the issue of package that you can use to reduce your files or to compress your file rather, you can make use of a gzip, and it actually give you the original size. It's not that it's going to, how I say it's going to reduce the quality or anything. In the case of file now, it's just reducing it's just taking it back to the original size of that file, which is expected for it to be. And in the case of picture, I believe you also mentioned picture.
Yeah, I did.
In the case of picture, it does not actually reduce the quality of pictures as well so far. And some packages you can use actually, a minute I'm coming. You can use you can convert if you convert your JPEG pictures and PNGs to that is a web picture format, it's not actually going to reduce the quality as well. Although it's going to reduce make it smaller, but does not actually affect the image quality. It's just reducing the size of the image, decreasing the significant size of the what's it called, the image, and making it more effective than, how would I say, more smaller, not actually in quality or let me just, maybe I should use the word quantity. Am I communicating? So it's actually
Yeah, I
reducing
understand
quantity,
you.
not the quality in the case of picture. So and you can do that by converting. You can use the tools like command line tools, or you use a Squash to convert your JPEGs and PNG files to a WebP file. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the presentation. So I don't know if there's any question from any other person on the team before Mr. Dolapo logs off. Okay, all right. Tolu, you can take over. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. So before our speaker goes on, please, in case if we want to reach you, please, how can we reach you? Maybe on LinkedIn, social media. If they are your social media, please, you can help us to drop it on the chat box so that we can easily reach you on this. So pass you. Thank you for today's presentation. It was really lovely. Can you hear what I'm saying, sir?
I can hear you very well. I'll do that. I'll do that before I leave.
Thank you, sir. All right. So the second speaker, we have right. So the second speaker that we have on our in front of us today is one of us. Her name is Roberta Shu Biat. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that very well. So she's a front-end developer at Bincom Dev Center, and she's here to shed more light on this. Welcome as Robert speaks to us. Thank you. Robert, you can start now. I'll share your slides now. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
No, we can't. Okay, it's coming up now.
You'll be able to see it like this.
Yeah, it's very clear. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Tolu. Thank you for the slides, Tolu.
All right, so you can start.
All right. So in this day and time, it would be safe to assume that everyone on this call has at one point visited the website, but left shorter than you intended. Let's say you wanted to go on that website for a reason, but you decided to leave shortly after you visited the website. And you may not have realized it. The reason may have been that that website has failed in the area of front-end performance optimization. Why do I say this? Study shows that modern users like me and you may not spend up to 15 seconds in a website or on a website that is sluggish, that is not easy to navigate and stuff like that. The chances are you will leave very fast. Now, welcome once again. My name is Aswabiat Robert, and I'll be taking you through the journey of front-end performance optimization and how you can integrate this into your website. And I know you might be thinking that this presentation is targeted towards developers only, but the idea is that, or the truth is that in every aspect, or in every field today, you will need to reach a large scale, right? Whether you're producing a product, whether you're rendering services, whatever it is you do, you want everybody around the world to see. And the only way you can achieve that is by bringing it to the tech space. So this presentation is aimed at everybody who wants to reach a large scale. You might own a website, or even if you're not the one developing, it's best you know all these things so you bring it up during the process of development. So in the process of this conversation or this presentation, we're going to talk about what front-end performance optimization is and steps or tips that you need to apply to be able to achieve them. All right, so I would like to know, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Let me make sure I'm saying very well, because I'm having a small technical glitch over here. All right, so let's begin with what front-end performance optimization is. So it refers to a process of improving the speed and responsiveness of web pages by optimizing various front-end components such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, fonts, and other assets. Excuse me. So the main goal of this is to reduce the loading time and also improve your overall website such that anybody that visits will have a good user experience. Now, this is a process of fine-tuning your website to make it more browser-friendly and to take a very short time while loading. Reducing the file size, minimizing the number of requests needed for a given page is one way you can achieve this. Let's now dive into steps that you should take or tips you should look at while trying to make your website browser-friendly or user-friendly. So the first tip on my list is file compression. So HTML, JavaScript are the basic content of our websites. The more complex these files are, the longer it will take for it to load. So there are tools available that you can use, tools like Uglify, JS, or Closure Compiler are tools that you employ while trying to minimize and compress your code. There are several other tools, but I mentioned two, and one of it is gzip and Brutally. I also noticed that the previous speaker mentioned these two things, so I would not like to go deep into them, but just for reinforcement's sake. So when you're trying to use gzip to compress your file, all you just need is a line of code. On my slide here, you can see that I highlighted 2 lines of code. So the first one is what we should pay attention to. All you need is the GD code line and then include your file name. So by doing this, you've compressed whatever file that you have put in this code line to make it smaller, therefore reducing the time that it will take for it to load when you access or log onto your website, or when your user, if you're the one hosting or putting up your website there, it will reduce the amount of time that they will spend loading. The next slide, please. So we can move to the next slide. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Which of the slide? I'm already on the sixth slide. Or can you see my screen?
All right, it's breaking, but I still can't see the next. All right, thank you. So the next tip on my list is optimizing image. So optimizing your image will help you to reduce the amount of time. So all you just have to do is to reduce the file size. And there are tools that are made available to help you to reduce it without sacrificing the quality. You can do this by using tools like Photoshop, Tiny PNG, or Image Optim to compress, and optimize images before uploading them to your site. This is because images are actually one of the things that can slow down your site. So you do not want to make the mistake of uploading, especially websites that have to do that include several images. You do not want to make the mistake of uploading several images the way they come. So it is important that you take note of this. Now, if you use the Photoshop and Tiny PNG tool, you can go ahead and use the ones I listed down here, which is Optimus. Now, with Optimus, the file size is reduced by removing the additional data from the image. Now, when an image is taken, usually several data are attached to it, like the date, other information like the data size, that's the image size, and also the location of where this image was taken. Now, with Optimus, all those unnecessary information will be taken out, and all you just have is the image on your site, which is actually the most important thing you want appearing on your site. There's also Mozilla JPEG encoder, which you can use to resize and compress your JPEG images. Now, this one will help you limit the size, but the service is actually free of charge, which makes it very available and accessible to you at all times. Another one is Guzli, sorry. This one is also free and is provided by Google. You can use it to compress your JPEG as well, and you still have a very solid and sharp color. Let's move to the next slide.
Sorry about that. Where's my screen, please? Where's my screen?
No, we can't see a screen.
Sorry. Should be able to see it now. I see my screen now.
It's coming up. Please make it full screen.
Yeah, I have.
All right, thank you very much. And I apologize for the wait time. So the number 3 on my list is optimized font delivery. It is something that is always often neglected, but font is actually a very crucial part of a website. And the more font style and variants you use on your web page, the more space they take. Now, you may not need all those very stylistic kind of font on your web page. So it is best that you need only what is necessary and supported by browsers. Now, Google Fonts offer a wide variety of fonts, and they are optimized for web use, which means they load quickly and look good on any device at all. Now, this is important because you do not know the kind of device that your user will be using to access your website. So it is best that you use a font that is compatible with any device at all, whether they are using a cell phone, a laptop, a tablet, or a desktop. Now, to use these Google fonts, all you just have to do is add a line of code to your HTML or CSS. You can also use a plugin to extend it. Now, these Google fonts are very user-friendly and allows you to even choose the one. During the process of integrating them into your website, you can choose, you have them displayed, you can choose the one you want and then integrate to your website. Moving forward to point number 4, or tip number 4. So using responsive images and WebP is very, very important. Now, responsive images refer to an image on a website that can adapt to different screen sizes and resolutions. This simply means that you've created a website, yeah? Then your users can choose to use whatever device they want. They can use devices that have a different viewports. Let's say I have a phone that's very tiny. I should be able to view the content of your website in a way that fits or that's compatible with my phone. If I'm using a laptop that has a different width, obviously, I should also be able to view images that will align with that viewport. That's what this means. So doing this will help reduce the amount of time that it will take for a website to load on the side of your user. Now, WebP, on the other hand, is relatively new. It's a new image format by Google. It is designed to reduce the size of image without sacrificing image quality. WebP images can be an excellent choice for responsive image, since smaller files can load faster and can load faster and will eliminate the possibilities of having the possibilities of you losing out on advertising whatever product it is you have to your services. Next point, please. All right. So these are examples on how you can make your images fit whatever screen you want it to. So the first example is actually using HTML picture elements. Now with this HTML picture element, you're simply telling the browser that you want a device, a device that is supported by WP to be able to view your image. That's to say that, excuse me, I have a pop-up. That's to say that whatever device it is that I use, if it is compatible with WP, then it should reflect. If it is compatible with JPEG, it should also reflect. Thereby, you're not giving it just one option, but you're giving it like 3 options. That way, whatever device that your user is using to access your website will be supported because you've already laid that ground rule out. Then another way you can make your use.p to make images responsive, use that JavaScript to detect. Sorry, the screen is off. Okay. Use JavaScript to detect the user's device and browser and its browser to see if it supports WP. Now, once you use these lines of code as demonstrated here, once you use it to detect the browser or the device that your user is using, then it will display the default how do I put this? I'm sorry. It's just fall back to the default format. That's the word. Use the default format that your user's browser is using. So using WebP images as a part of a responsive design strategy can help improve website performance and user experience, but it's important to ensure compatibility. I think that should stand out. Compatibility is key because trying to make your website, your front-end performance optimizable or to make it interesting is so that anybody that accesses your website will will be able to enjoy using it irrespective of what design. Now, at this point, I would like to relate experience that I had 2 years after downloading the Facebook app. I could not respond to messages or send to people because I did not know how to navigate to that. So I had lots of messages piled up for me. But we cannot say the same of Facebook today. Almost everybody on the internet is using Facebook because their user experience is actually very fun. It's interesting. You just find yourself scrolling and scrolling. And this is something that they took time to determine how to structure their webpage so that anybody that accesses it will have the fullest and the best experience ever. So want to take this into consideration while building your own website so that none of your user will lose interest, but will all stay to enjoy and appreciate what you've taken time to create. So the last slide, or the last point, that's point number 5, is a technique used to improve the performance of computer systems by anticipating the data that will be needed in the future and fetching it from memory or storage in advance. This can help reduce the latency and improve the responsiveness of applications. This is like saying you're able to determine what your user would request for next, the information that your user might ask for next. That's because you store the data that he asked for previously, and then use that to anticipate or predict the next data that he or she will be requesting for, and then make it available. All of this is just to enhance the time, to reduce the time, to enhance usability and all of that. So one way you can do this is identify the data that needs to be prefetched. This could include frequent access data, like I said, data that is accessed sequentially, or data that is using prediction to tell. The second step is choose a prefetching strategy. There are different prefetching strategies, such as sequential prefetching, stride prefetching, and temporal prefetching. So the choice and strategy that you will use depends on the nature of data and the access pattern. That's pattern in which your users will use to access your network, your website, sorry. The next step is to implement the prefetching code. The prefetching code can be implemented in the application code or in the system software. In some cases, hardware support may also be needed. Then finally, you need to test the prefetching code. You test and tune the prefetching code. The performance and prefetching code can be evaluated using benchmark or real-world workload. The code can be tuned to improve the prefetching accuracy and minimize the overhead. It's important to note that not all systems or applications will benefit from prefetching. In some cases, it may even have a negative impact on performance. Therefore, it's important to carefully evaluate system and overload before enabling prefetching. The next slide, please. So in all, optimization requires a holistic approach that involves optimizing various components of a website to improve loading speed and overall users' experience. By implementing these techniques mentioned in this slide and those that were mentioned by my colleague in the first presentation, you significantly improve the performance of your website. And you should not only stop at implementing these strategies that we mentioned, because this is an ongoing process. From time to time, you tend to look at ways that you can make your website user-friendly, fast, and enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone has learned a thing or two. I also have done that. So now it's time for questions. So if there are questions or if anyone have questions, you can ask your question right now. So this floor is open for question now. If there are questions on what she has talked about, you would ask your question now. All right. So I take that as no question.
I have a question. For you.
Okay, good. All right, so ask. Ask.
Thank you. Nice presentation by the way, Robert. I enjoyed it. So my major question here is are there like tools or framework that you can recommend for optimizing front-end performance? And if there are tools, why do you recommend them rather than the normal one that you mentioned? Like, is it an advantage? Will you recommend it over the ones that you listed earlier?
Okay, I could hear you, but not everything you said. So if you can maybe rephrase and then make it louder, I'd appreciate.
Sorry about that. Let me just ask this simple question. Like, are there frameworks or tools that you can recommend for front-end optimization?
Sorry?
Are there front-end tools or framework that you can recommend that helps with optimization of front-end?
Oh, yes, there are some I would recommend, but first you need to realize that your choice of tools depends on the specific needs and requirements of your project, as well as your technical expertise and familiarity with different technologies. But I would recommend Google Lighthouse, Web Page Test, Gmetrics, and some of the ones I mentioned during the presentation, GZip, Brutally, Minify, and then frameworks. I would recommend React, Angular, and Vue.js.
All right, thank you very much. That answers my question.
Hello.
Hello, you said thank you. So does anybody else have any question? I think Taiwo wants to.
Yes, I want to know if like plugins and external extensions used in development, if they could be one of the reasons a website can be, the load time can be slow.
Okay, if I get you right, you're asking if plugins and extension can slow down a website.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's why you need to choose one that's not heavy, you know,
All right. Okay.
and those that are intended to help reduce the time and improve speed.
All right, just to add to what Robert said, especially when you are building your website using maybe WordPress or other local platform like Webflow, as you always advise that when you are building with those tools, you use like delete the plugins that you are not using. If you have too many plugins on your website, it tends to like slow down the website. So we're always been advised to always delete the ones that we don't need or the ones that we probably stop using, and also try to update them because a plugin that has been outdated will definitely slow your website. So if you are building website, you should be conscious of the amount of plugin you are installing on your website.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Thank you. Hello.
yeah, yeah, I heard you. Is Tolu still on this call? All right, I think Tolu left. Probably network. Is there any question from anybody? Does anybody have any other question for the speaker before we round up the event this afternoon? All right, I'm guessing that's a no. I don't know if okay. Samuel, are you trying to say sorry, Mr. Samuel, I can barely hear you. Can you please speak up?
I'd like to know the speakers on LinkedIn. Ask some questions answered.
The first speaker.
Speaker.
Sorry, I didn't get you. I can't get. Am I the only one?
Second speaker, the second speaker. How to connect on LinkedIn.
All right, all right. Robert, please kindly drop your LinkedIn, the link to your LinkedIn profile on the chat box so we can connect with you and also reach out to you in case we have further questions later.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know if um Miriam, you have like an ending speech or video to play for us before we end the event today. Hello, Mutilade, are you here? Or Miriam, can you guys hear me?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miriam.
All right, well done for the presentations. It will be played by Miss Motuladi. I'm not on my system. I'm on my phone, that's why. So I can't share screen at all.
All right, thank you for the response. Ms. Mutilade, are you on this call, please?
I think her network is bad and she left. So let me try contacting her on WhatsApp.
All right, no problem.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, please let's just chill for like 3 to 5 minutes while they get back to us. Thank you very much for attending. Tolu, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was cut off. My network was fluctuating.
All right, it's fine. Do you by chance have do you have the video? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you're showing it already.
Okay.
Complete full screen. You are not showing the voice. You are not showing the sound.
Are you the one sharing, Tolu?
No, I'm not the one.
Okay. We can't hear the.
It's yours.
The one she wants to share, she should look below. You will see share with sound and click the option. How to reshare.
Thank you everyone for joining. Let's have a great day.
All right, thank you.